This conference will now be recorded.
So actually, I was talking about testing in Python that you can create a program which would test with a different input for some other program, the real program, and you can run the test. You will get an output like how many test cases were passed. Test case is nothing but different input. We have seen, right? Yesterday, when I give this input, I have first tried with this input, and later I was trying with this input. Then I found that this for this input it is not working. Then I had to add remove from the list B. Only then it was showing me the proper output. So here I can create one program where I can give multiple inputs. Each set of input is called test case. So this is test case number one and test case number two. Similarly, I can think of all the test case hard and medium. And then I put it in a file, then I'll run it. It will tell how many test cases were passed and how many failed. So, but what I have to do, this real program will be somewhere else. It will be written in some other file. You will be importing this file into your file where you are writing your test cases, and then you will be using this. For example, if there is a function defined, then you will be calling that function and passing these input to those functions. Since I have not written this inside function, anyway, yeah, here I can create a def function name and I can put it in a function. This would be in different file. You will be importing it and you will pass different input and then you will get an output that how many test case pass or fail. So what you would do, you will not just give input, you will also give output in the same file. You will tell that for this input, see if the function is returning this output. For example, here I want the output what I want is 1, 2, 1. So I would tell first I will call the function passing this input. I will get the output of the function. Then I'll see if the output of the function returned is equal to this. If they are same, then the test case is passed. Otherwise, the test case failed, right? So the one important method for this is, so this we would be doing using a framework called PyTest. It's PyTest. So this is a framework written for testing purpose. And this is a third party, like somebody developed this using Python. And it is in the open source repository. It's a open source, so anybody can use it. You just have to install it for you to use it. So the install command, any Python framework, if you want to install, you have to use this pip install and PyTest. So when you do this, it's already installed in my system. So it will collect all the detail, download into your system. So it is telling requirement already satisfied because I have already downloaded, and it is checking that if there is any new update available upon the version I have installed. If so, it will update. Otherwise, it will not update anything. So when you run this, it will be downloading and installing. You will see set of commands running for download and install. Then later, I'm just going to verify if I have installed it properly using py.test -h. So here, -h is nothing but help page. So since the PyTest is already installed, it is showing me the complete help page for PyTest. Otherwise, it won't be showing me anything because it will not recognize what is py.test. So here, this is a help manual they have defined for PyTest. That is all the commands and how to use that. So this makes sure that you have the PyTest installed in your system. Then after installing, the important command is called assert. Many other tool also, which is a testing tool. Most of the testing tool will have this command or function called assert, which means you are telling that this is the output. See if this output is matching with the output given by the program. If both are same, then minus pass. Otherwise, my test has failed. The particular test case against the program has failed. So here, how to use this? So the general format for assert is you write the keyword called assert and then your expression followed comma message. Fine. So you will have your expression here and you will have a message here. The expression is nothing but kind of a if condition. You are checking the if condition you want to test. If the condition is false, then this assertion error is raised. This is the error message you are giving. So if this is false, it is going to raise this message. It is going to tell that some error you will be having. The given output is not right, or the function is not returning correct output. Some message you will be returning here. You will be giving here. That will be returned when this expression is failed. Message can be optional. You can provide some message to display. Otherwise, it will raise some assertion error. Okay, but the message, if you have a message, if for example, if your file is having multiple test cases, 10 to 15 test cases, you will not know which one failed if you haven't given the error message. If you have given the proper error message, test case one is failed or something, you will know that how many test case failed and which test case failed, right? So it is better to always give a message, though it is optional. Let me show a sample simple program to use this assert function. So here, so usually I just want to divide. So what I'll do is return a slash p later. This is spelling mistake, but it's assert. So the result is 2.0. Let me give 0. It is going to rise zero division error. We all know that, right? Now I can write my assert here. So here I'm just writing the assert inside my function directly. I'm not writing any test case separately. Let's see a simple way. If b is not equal to 0. So this is negation. Negation equal to means not equal to. If b is not equal to 0, so here I'm not testing out anything. I'm using assert as a precondition. I'm just using a condition before I run my before I do some logic in my function. Here, so if is false, then it is going to print this message. Okay. If the condition is false only, you are going to print. And if it is true, then you are going to go to the next line. So B is not equal to 0. What would be false of this? If B is equal to 0, then this condition will become false, right? Tilly, assert is not a function. You don't see any open and close bracket, right? So it's not a function, not the method. It's just a statement. Mm, how do I tell? It's just a statement. This is how you write. This is not any function or method. You give assert keyword, then followed by your condition. Like if statement, you have if statement, right? It's not a method, it's not a condition. Yeah, like return, if statement. Why I'm telling if is you are evaluating. There is a condition. Based on the condition, it is going to execute something, right? So the other way of writing assert is if a b is equal to 0, something like this. So if b is equal to 0, I'm just going to print. I will write a print statement here. So the here if is not loop, if is not method, if is not a function, if but rather it's a statement. Similarly, assert is a statement used for debugging and testing purpose. So here I'm just checking whether, so sorry, here it should be equal to equal. Okay. So I'm just evaluating this expression. If this is true, it is going to go inside the next line. If it is how many ever lines we have, it is going to execute everything. If it is false, it is going to a different set of logic. Similarly, here if it is true, we are going inside. But here, if it is false, it is going to go here this way. The next error message. If it is true, it is going to go to the next line. Okay. So that is why here I have given equal to 0, but here I have given not equal to, because if it is true, it is going to go to the next line. If it is false, it is going to print this error message. It's the simplest way of writing your if condition. But if condition will be used if you want to execute some logic. For example, if I'm checking if the person age is less than 18, then go and create a insurance for him. So after checking the condition, if he is less than 18, then there will be a set of logic where I'll go and call some method to create an insurance for that particular person on that particular person name. Otherwise, I'm going to throw an error, throw a message to the user that the person is not eligible for getting an insurance. But there will be logic inside if condition. You can call a function, you can do any kind of calculation, expression, anything you can do. But assertion is only for debugging and testing purpose. So we are not doing any logic. We just check this and throw this error message. Is it clear? And by default, if the condition is false and you don't have any message here, like zero division error, you're going to see assertion error. And it is going to halt your program. If you face any assertion error, then what will happen? It will halt your program. Okay. Okay. So here, let's see. Um, So usually what happened when I give zero, it is when it goes to return here, it sees zero. Only then it will know that there is a zero in the denominator. Then it is going to raise a zero division error. But before going to this return statement, before the Python knows that the denominator is zero, what we are going to do, we have written a precondition. Here assertion works as a precondition. Okay, so here I'm just mentioning that raise this area. So let's save this. Let me first execute with 1. So I have got the error. The result is 2.0. So here you see it is telling assertion error and the denominator must not be 0. If I don't have the statement, it is going to throw me a different error. It's not that I'm changing the error detail. Let's say one more example where the Python will not throw error, but assertion will throw error. So here in case, even if I don't have this assert statement, anyway I'll be having zero division error, right? So it will not make much sense here because anyway, even if the assertion is not there, I'll be seeing zero division error. What is the purpose of having assert? Let me show you another example. I'm calculating some discount, okay? So I'm going to get price and discount as an input. And so I'm using this command to calculate my discount, the formula to calculate my discount. So I'm just giving that price is 20 and discount is 1. What is the issue here? What is telling the price after discount is 0. See here, this is not right, right? As per the logic, as per the syntax, everything, we have got some output. But logically, the price after discount cannot be 0. It shouldn't be 0, right? Yeah. So in this case, the discount should be less than 1. Logically, I'm creating a rule that the discount should be less than 1. Here, I'll be giving, even though I give 1 here, I'm not seeing any error thrown by Python, but I'll make Python to throw error now based on my logic. So I'm telling discount should be less than 1 and also greater than 0. So I'm checking if it is less than 1 and also greater than, I'm giving an opposite way, right? So because only if it is false, it is going to give me this error. So I'm telling the discount should be less than 1, less than or equal to 1. It actually shouldn't be equal to, okay. So less than or equal to 1 and also greater than or equal to 0. Then show me this error. Let me remove this equal to. See here, for the same input, I just added one condition, as that condition, it is throwing an error. Discount should be between 0 and 1. In a regular program, you will not usually add assertion because you will have a if condition which will write a message back to the user telling that here this is here this value should not be less than 1 or something. I'll not be abruptly stopping my program execution because of this one value given by the user, right? So usually in normal way, we will not go for assertion. Only in the test case, we will go for assertion, which will be done only by the tester. The tester of that particular application will run that. And to make his life simpler, we are writing one code which he can run every time. So why are we writing one file for testing particular function or method? For example, what happens in real world scenario is there is something called regression testing. So for example, if you have three program A, program B, and program C, three program you have in your application, and what happened October month, end of October month, there is a code change. There is an enhancement, nothing but there is some, they are enhancing their project, they are adding new feature into their project. So in program C alone, they are making some changes. Okay, so they're making some changes and they are deploying it. Deploying is nothing but moving the code to the uh, I mean, you're committing your code after you write your code, you're saving it. Consider it as saving. Later we will see what is committing everything later. So you are saving your code. Once the code is saved, then when you execute it, you are going to see the new feature, right? So here what happened, though only the program C is changed, you are supposed to test. As a tester, you will first test program C. You will go and see what is the new change, and based on the new change, you will understand first what is the change, what they are making logically. You will get an understand through meeting. You will sit with the developer and other team members. You will discuss, and later you will create your test case. Once you understand the logic behind the feature, you will think of what all you have to test in that particular logic, and you will be writing your test case and you will evaluate functionally whether it is working or not, whether in happy scenario it is working and unhappy scenario, both the way it is working or not. After checking that, your next, this is called functional testing. You are checking particular functionality. Wherever the program is changed, only you will execute that and you will test it and you will tell the result to the developer if there is an issue. If some unhappy scenario, that is a negative scenario, is not addressed properly, then you will be informing them, they will be fixing it. So this is how it happens. So later what happens after checking program C, the tester should also check program A and B. Why they have to check if there is no change in program A and B? This is called regression testing. Even though there is no change in that particular program, you are going to change it. Why? Because program A might be calling program C in some scenario, right? You will be importing program A into program C. There are some possibilities, right? You will be importing program A and you will be using one of the function of program A. So in that case, because of the new change, your existing change code is also not working. For example, they are introducing a new text field in the main screen for some web page. Because of that functionality, if something else is broken, how will you know? You can check whether that particular functionality is working or not by giving some input to the text box, saving it, whether it is saved or not. All those things you will check. But there are possibilities that the existing functionality might break. sorry, the new functionality might break the existing functionality. So program A and B might also get affected because of program C. If in case you are importing A to C or C to A, there are chances that they are broken. So later what he has to do, he has to run all the existing test case he has created till October. For example, your application is created during January month of this year. It was a new application and a new code was started created during January, and slowly every month they are enhancing few features. So from January month you would have written some test cases, right, for testing one of the function of A. In program there in program A there might be four function. So January month you would have written three. You would have written few test cases to test three functions of program A. In February month, you would have written few test cases to test program B, right? So all those test cases you have to execute again. So this is a repeated work, right? Kind of a duplicate work. You have already done that. You're going to use this. You're going to run the same test case again. So that is why what we are doing, we are creating a file and putting all our test cases there so that you need not manually go and do every check later. You just have to run the Python file. So whatever I have test cases I have written in some January till September, I'll just take all the test case file and I'll just execute it one after another. In maybe 10 to 15 minutes, it depends on how many test cases you have. Consider you have medium amount of test cases. In maybe in an hour, you can run everything and you will get an output in the console like this, right? So you can copy the output and you can put it in one sheet. So if nothing has failed in program A and B because of a new program, then we are good with the regression testing. So we do functional testing and also the regression testing. To make the regression testing work easier, we are writing some program for our test cases. So which will be used and not only for this October month, it might be used in 2025 also. In 2024 also it will be used. Every month somebody will be using it. So that is why what we are doing, even though it is a simple function, simple test, we are putting it in one file and saving it so that later the work is not duplicated or it's the same work. We are repeating same work, right? It would be easy for us to do it in the future. So assertion is used only for that case, like testing your program. But I'm just showing you to show you what is assert. Only this assert. I just created a simple function and show how the assertion error is raised when this condition is not satisfied. Okay. Now let's go and see a real program. Is assertion and why we are creating testing file, is it clear? Sam, Rajita, Sam, you have any doubt or question? Okay, fine. Okay, what we were okay. We saw what is assertion, right? Let me show you how I'm going to test particular functionality giving the input. So here let's so usually what we do, we have some program written by the developer. It is residing somewhere else. We are going to import it. But let me show a simple function. I'm not importing anything here. So here, this is my testing code. Consider this is in different file. We are going to test this. So this is my test function, test underscore add, and here So this is my first test case. So I'm going to let me complete my test cases. So I was discussing yesterday that I'll be passing multiple input to my function to understand whether it is handling everything properly as expected, right? So I have some expectation for this input. I want this kind of output. So I'll be checking against each input whether that is giving the right input, right output, right? So that is what I'm doing here. So for this function, I'm expecting if I had to add 1 and 2, it should return 3, right? And if I add minus 0 and 0, it should return 0, and here it has to return 0. So you can write multiple assert statement, depends on the use case. So here I feel that this is fine. I have what I did, positive positive number, negative positive number I have did, and in 0 also I'm giving positive negative. So I felt that I have covered most of the scenarios in addition. So I'm telling this should return this. If this is not returning, when I call this function and give this output, and the output given by the function is not matching this, then I'll be giving some error, telling that raise some exception error. Okay. I don't see any output yet because I don't have any print statement given here. For example, here there is a mistake, a logical mistake. 1 minus 1, here it is giving doing minus, but so output, what the output will be, 1 minus 2 will be minus 1, but I'm expecting 3. So let's see. So here it is raising a exception assertion error, right? So this is how you will be writing a test case. You will be writing a function where you will be testing few input on the real function where it was written by a developer. It was written either by you also. You can develop and you can write a test case for your own code, right? So this is how you test and you call this function. Let's see a real example with all input and all. So till now it is clear, right? So I have common list.py. So here I've hard coded the input. So let's not hard code the input. So what happens? I have to write a function, right? I have to put this inside a function. Mm, what I'm doing here, a comma b. So first what we did, we tested for this input and it was working fine. But when we were testing this input, it was not working fine. That is why we added this remove line, right? So let me comment this out initially. For okay. Okay, it is printing the common elements also, but I also should return. So this is what I have to return, right? Return common elements. Okay. Here we are not passing any input. Okay, let me uncomment this show. Let me comment this show. So here we have a function. We are getting input, and we are finally we are returning the output common elements, right? Let me save this and common elements list.py, and here I'll create my test underscore um, common elements. So I have a function where I'll get all the input and also the expected output. Here I'll save result is equal to. So I have to call this function, right? I will call it here. So I have to call this function, and these two are the input. Okay, and then after so I also have expected as an input for this particular function. So when I get the result after calling this particular code and a function inside code, some value will be saved into result. I am checking whether the result and the expected are equal. So now here the find common is throwing us error because we have to import it from. There should be some folder, right? Okay, we don't have any folder. Both are residing in the same file. So let me import common list. Or I'll do one thing. I'll create a folder structure for me to input. So here I should have one init file, right? So I'm just copying this init file and putting it here. So here I'll mention that from my module. So I'm giving folder name and also the file name. Why this is throwing in an error? Okay. So I'm just importing my package and the module, and later I'm importing the function. From this package module, I'm importing the function. I'm using that function here. And here input A, B, and C that we have to define, right? Let me define that. Now I'll also import PyTest because this is done by PyTest. Import PyTest. The assert will work without PyTest also. But when I run the file, you will know why I'm using PyTest here, this framework. Okay. At PyTest dot mark dot parameter. So these are my input, two inputs A and B, and I'm expecting this output. So I'm giving input A is this, input B is this, and expected is this. So this is how we have to write PyTest parameterize if you want to parameterize it. And there is one more way to write this dot fixture. So I'll tell later how to do this PyTest dot fixture. So now let's see mark dot parameterize. Okay, so Felicia is also dropping. Tilly, Rajita, shall we continue this tomorrow?
Yes,
Okay, thank you. So any question or doubt so far?
this this topic is a bit confusing. can
Okay.
explain tomorrow properly.
Yeah, okay. Hmm. Okay. Bye, guys.
Yes. Yeah.
Bye. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Mhm.